Thanks for your company. The details now. Investigative freelance journalist Manasseh has revealed that the Talent Discovery Limited, a company incorporated in June 2017, has won a number of government contracts through restrictive tendering. He also confirmed that the company was engaged in selling contracts. Undercover encounters with general manager of the company, Thomas Amwa, revealed that the company was selling a 22.3 million road contract to Kedra Enterprise, a fake company Manasseh used for the investigation. There's more in the following excerpt of his latest peace contracts for sale.
So what is your company name?
Richard Kumadra met the general manager of the TDL group, Thomas Amwa. Mr. Amwa signs the contracts on behalf of TDL. He took notes on our fake business and proceeded to talk about the number of contracts at hand.
There have been people interested in the project. Actually, some have dropped checks.
Okay.
But I am key to people like this project.
Okay.
Because if it goes wrong, it tarnishes the image of your company.
Okay. Okay.
So they are outstanding buyers because the terms of it is very, very favorable. And everybody would want to do it.
Okay.
The contract
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
the $158,000.
$158,000.
Okay, so you can read through.
Okay. Okay. That's my report. Is it possible to have one of these when I'm here?
Then if we've signed all necessary agreements.
Okay. Okay.
Because somebody is actually interested and want to pay to this.
Okay. I am as well very much interested. Very much interested.
May I keep saying that?
Yeah.
Everybody can say I am interested, but the one to commit himself is the one.
He would not part with any document until payment was made. He said there was a non-refundable registration fee of 5,000 cedis for any business wanting to do business with Talent Discovery Limited, but the registration could be waived if we're prepared to pay the full price of the contracts he was selling.
For us, we have something we call suppliers and contractors registration form.
Okay.
That any contractor we engage in pay a fee of 5,000 cedis
Okay.
to register with us. What happens is that when that amount is paid, every time there is an award of projects, we open up to the supplier or the contractor to hear from you if the supplier is interested. There are cases we can come into a negotiation on percentage-wise, and then even use the supplier's company details for a direct contract award.
Okay.
So that is what we do.
Okay.
So once we sign, or the contractor register with us, we are good to give any information we have to be able to enable him work.
Okay.
Richard tried, but he had to leave without any documents because the general manager insisted no document would change hands until money changed hands. We were then compelled to pay the registration fee of 5,000 cedis and a 10,000 cedis deposit to secure copies of a contract.
The 10,000 I'm going to give you is not for any specific project for now. I'm just going to give you as a deposit, so that when we make a decision, on which of the contracts we want to execute, then we can then do the top up and then we finalize. Okay. So this is the check this.
I trust.
Alright, we can.
The general manager revised the terms of the contract he was initially selling for 30,000 cedis. The total sum of the contract was 158,900 cedis, awarded to Talent Discovery Limited by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority to supply one mobile column lift for the Takoradi port.
The form is quite detailed.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to fill it here or would you want to take it down and submit it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Would it take a long time?
It will depend on you.
Okay. Okay.
So now that I know that I have the agreement with you, then I can open things up.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, then I will take it. I'll take it away, fill it, and then bring it. So,
And this project,
yeah.
it was awarded to us to go and do Santa Maria
Okay.
drainage.
Wow.
But Dr. Okoboy wants us to tackle his end, which is station.
Listen. Minerals. Oh,
No, the steam drain.
the same drinks. Okay. Okay.
So I'm going to check the site.
Okay.
So any contractor who comes in, I actually sold it to somebody.
Okay.
What is happening? The person don't have the funds to carry the project.
Okay.
Okay, that is what is happening.
Okay.
So I've agreed with the person, I will sell it to another person who have the funds
Okay.
and give him his refund.
Refund.
Initial deposit he paid.
Selling of contracts amounts to misrepresentation.
To me, it is a misrepresentation or fraud, a deceit, because it is like me presenting myself to you as a medical officer. After you have given me the patient, I go and call a quack to come and do the job. If I understand you, if you are having companies who are operating like the Guru boys, so more or less a Guru company, my goodness, God save this country. If that is what is happening, and I hope no public servant is involved, because if the people who are supposed to serve the public interest are also involved in this, then God save this country.
When asked how TDL, a company that was formed barely 2 years ago, was able to win so many government contracts, Thomas Amwa said the company had links to the top. He said with time, he could help Kedra Enterprise to win contracts directly from the government agencies. The ministries, departments and agencies have confirmed that the contracts being sold by Talent Discovery Limited are authentic contracts that have been awarded to the company. The company has contracts with the Ghana Water Company, Ghana Cocoa Board, and the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. It also has contracts with the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Works and Housing, and 4 contracts with the Ministry of Special Development Initiatives to construct dams under the government's One Village, One Dam project. At the time of filing this report, Talent Discovery Limited was shortlisted for restrictive tendering by the Bank of Ghana for the supply and installation of air purifiers. The company has also been shortlisted by the Roads and Highways Ministry for 3 road contracts, and the evaluation process is currently ongoing. These are what I've been able to confirm. There could be more. It is said that a bird that dances in the middle of the road must have its drummer or drummers in the nearby bush. And a new
Well, Collins Ajaman Sapong is president of the Ghana Institute of Procurement and Supply, and he tells us the institute is about having a meeting on this latest expose produced by Manasseh Azuriawuni, and because the indicted PPA boss belongs to the institute, and he joins us over the phone. Thank you, sir, for your time this morning.
Thank you, Benny.
All right, so your thoughts on this piece?
Okay, good morning to your viewers. I must say, most of us, or some of us, in terms of, I'm talking about the executives, the council members and committee members, most of us woke up to the news. And I must tell you, I've not even had the time to watch all, because as we start watching the call here and there. So, as I'm talking to you, we've called an emergency meeting composed of the council members, the executives, and the governance committee members, that all of us are driving to the venue now. So the institute is going to meet on it, and at the appropriate time within the day, we will come back to the media and issue a statement on this issue.
You haven't seen the piece, as you just said, but just a few questions I would want to ask you with regards to procurement, is there anything that justifies one company securing a government contract and selling it to another?
Then this is an issue that has come up. We will, and since he's our member and a fellow member, and it comes to our crave your indulgence, let us meet and come back and issue a statement to that effect.
All right. Thank you very much for your time this morning, Mr. Collins Adjuman Sapongve. He's president of the Ghana Institute of Procurement and Supply. I was just trying to get his thoughts on some of the issues raised, but as you heard, he won't want to comment until that meeting between executives of that institute is over. But we are joined by Bright Sowu. He's a senior research officer at the Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition. Thank you so much. It's corruption uncovered again. And for many people, there's a lot of excitement when this happens. But usually the big question is, what next? What are you expecting as a country moving on from the point of this investigation?
Well, good morning, Bennett, and good morning to all your listeners of Joy FM. Of course, the part about another corruption scandal, I don't think it surprised anybody. But again, you look at the details in here. I've not actually watched the video, but I've read the text except on it, and a lot of the issues really are extremely worrying. I mean, this is not the way we should go, and as and when issues come, we need to deal with them one by one. I think what's important is to have decisive actions. That's the only way we can send some confidence into the system. Let people know that this is something that the state of Ghana is serious about dealing with corruption each time it happens. So what's really necessary right now is to have some decisive action following the piece that has come out.
But this definitely questions all efforts being made. If you followed the documentary carefully, you understand that this PPA boss was actually brought in 2017. The first time he was boss of the PPA was in 2005 when it was formed, then was brought in 2015 to try and deal with the loopholes within the system. But this definitely questions all efforts and commitments to stemming the menace, doesn't it?
Yes, from the public procurement point of view, it definitely does. I mean, one of the most disturbing parts of this is the person that's involved. I mean, we are talking about the head of the PPA here. So that makes it extremely worrying. There are no two ways about that. But again, that's what I'm saying, that we need some very decisive action following this.
All right. So, I just want to find out from you that, are you sure that as a country we are making any headway in this fight against corruption, especially within the public service sector?
That's always a very tough question to answer, because on some front you see us passing certain legislation and putting certain policies in place, as it were, to address some of this. But again, once in a while you are surprised by this scale of scandals coming out, and then you are wondering if we are really making any progress. But it seems again that we are at that point where the legislative front, we seem to make a lot of progress, but as to actually they're actually working, they're addressing the issues we expect them to address. The standards, once again, as they come out, tell us that this part, the enforcement part, where the rules are supposed to basically prevent these things, that bit we still not got right as a country, and that's extremely worrying, because one prevents things like this. That's why we designed the laws and policies in the first place. So again, we have things coming on this scale. It tells you we've still not got a lot right.
Really appreciate your time this morning, Bright Sowu, who is a senior research officer at the Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition, sharing his thoughts on that latest investigative piece by Manasseh Azure-Awuni. Well, let's get your comments on social media on this latest piece, and many of you have been commenting on Facebook and Twitter. Well, let's find those comments shortly.
Union in Chamba.
Omoya bridges in Sony to Minya Quem, half a bridge moi, a quanono, Sony to say Babi and Sony and ya bridge in Fumu, in Sony Badasana, Alpha Quen, as I said, will be antiminfa. The Omunian draft from one to Minko. We are mistaken about Kansumo. Yet they are hanging I the two, a band say, one boy.
The 17.5-kilometer Woodlands-Chamba road was cut off at the peak of the rainy season last year.
So that's another portion of the documentary. Let's see those comments you shared with us. And Abraham Mensah says corruption is like a daily pill, he says, under this administration. And Kufu Mahama said, God is not coming. We have to hold government accountable. Until then, forget it. And Yesu Via says, God come to our aid. Okay, so I'm sure that was to that response. And Kingsley Ajay says, but is this something new? Absolutely no. This is how the system has been and is. So those were comments on Facebook. We'll bring you more comments later on this particular one in the subsequent editions of our news programs.